Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our 10th annual Veterans Day live stream celebration. Before we get the military festivities started, I'd just like to introduce some of the guests that are going to be conducting some pre-recorded information that we have. Firstly, our color guard is by some instructors from Monterey High School, NJRTC, Soledad High School, NJRTC, and Edward Alvarez High School, NJRTC. They're going to be our color guard. And singing our national anthem is no one else but our favorite, Yolanda Cervantes. And finally, for our opening invocation is our chaplain, Jack Smiles. Thank you.
Forward, march. 1, 2, 3, 4. Present. Colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars rule our perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Carry. Colors. Dismount. Colors. Right. Face. Port. Arms. Forward. He arch. Lift. 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 Right. Lift.
On this Veterans Day, let us always remember those troops that have served and have passed on. They're no longer with us. Let us always have them in our prayers and remember those troops that are now serving in different countries throughout the world. Let them always be safe and return safely. I'd like to give a little prayer at this time. We pray for all those troops that are out and among us, ones that have not recuperated or still in veterans hospitals throughout the world. Let us pray for their quick recovery and for their loved ones. We ask you in this name, amen.
Thank you very much, all those opening ceremonies. I hope that's something that, every year for the last 10 years, we always kick it off that way. And it's a community event with all our local veterans and honor color guard that support it as well. Well, this year, obviously, is a lot different. We really couldn't have a Veterans Day parade, but didn't want to cancel anything. This is a day that we cannot, look away from. Also, as our Veterans Day Parade Committee, we are celebrating a milestone. This is our 10th anniversary. And, it all started, honestly, 10 years ago. A good friend of mine, Phil Orozco, a Marine Corps veteran, we were sitting at the steps of the Steinbach Center and looking down Old Town Salinas. And both Phil and I were just discussing that nothing takes place for veterans on Veterans Day here in Salinas. And with the rich history we have with former Fort Ord, Hunter Liggett, and all the areas around here with DLI and Naval Postgraduate School, this area is just inundated with veterans and those still serving. So we kicked it off our first year. Learning curve was all the way to the top. I'm a Ranger, Phil's a Marine, and we learned, and it was fantastic. That first year of the only year, and hopefully we won't get more, but it rained that whole time of the parade. We had about 5,000 people attended on Old Town Salinas and maybe about 30 vehicles doing it. But you know what? Everybody was out there. The energy was infectious and everybody had a great Veterans Day. Fast forwarding to our 9th annual Veterans Day Parade, it's grown way over. Last year, we had about 140 participants. We had contingencies from DLI, from every branch marching through, young women and children coming through, which you'll see later on in some of the past footage. And we actually had over 20,000 people, lining Old Town Salinas. You who've been there every year, you understand it and just know how fun it was. Every age, waving little flags. It's really cool. It's really cool not only for the service members, but just those veterans that day who don't necessarily look for the attention, but deserve the honor for serving. A couple of years ago, I was in Fort Knox, Kentucky. I met with one of the commanders of the Golden Knights, and he mentioned that he was going to be in San Francisco jumping into Levi Stadium the day before our Veterans Day Parade. I just gave it a shot, and we were able to get the Golden Knights jumping in our parade a couple years ago, which was, you'll see some footage of that, but I think that was just a great thing. Those guys are amazing, and the flagship folks here for the United States Army. And one other thing that we also did, and we do every single year, and this is a cool part. A lot of times when these service members enlist, just like myself, you're in a room, your family's not there, you're up at the MEP station, and you raise your right hand and you're sworn into the military. We do a mock oath of enlistment, and we do that at the Veterans Day opening site itself at Salinas High School. We've had upwards over 125 young men and women from all branches. Going back 10 years that we've done that, it's interesting just to think where they're at today. Whether they're serving, still serving, deployed. But I know that day that they were up there on that, up there at the opening site, that they had a chance to enlist. Their family had a chance to join them and take photos. So I think that's a long-lasting memory there. The other thing now that I want to discuss is we're going to move into a special treat that we have. The American Legion Riders of District 28, who the president is High Libby. For the past 5 years, the Legion Riders have had the honor of opening our Veterans Day Parade by cruising down Main Street and warming up the crowd. Even in the absence of an actual parade, these riders simply could not pass up the opportunity to come out and honor our veterans. There are veterans and family members representing the 4 chapters of the Legion Riders, District 28 of Prunedale, Chapter 694 Marina, Chapter 69 of Hollister, and from right here, Salinas Chapter 31. They love the ride, and they love it more to ride for a cause. They serve our veterans in our community with food drives, toy drives, clothing drives, and much more, including motorcycle escorts for our fallen heroes and veterans that are laid to rest. This morning, they started in Hollister, and after, they will pass through Salinas. They will visit Marina, Castroville, Moss Landing in Wattsville, Las Lomas, and Prunedale. Now, right now, folks, you're at home. Please, I'd like to give them a virtual round of applause for taking the efforts here coming out. They're on their way, and just a couple of personal memories. I mean, I know that when my nephew did pass in 2014, these guys honorably do an escort, and it's just a lot of the veterans that we've known in the past. Every one of them that has passed. So, with further ado, we're going to go here to are the riders here yet? So they're about a block away. They'll probably. You've heard of every single parade. They usually go down ahead of time and warm us up. They're coming down Main Street. And we've got about maybe 25 riders this time that are going to be coming through. And we're going to be there. The photo that we took ahead of time, just to get a chance to see these men. A lot of times you see them around their patriotic duty is just bar none. While they come through, you've heard them in the past. Here at the studio, Magwin Media, I can definitely hear the rumble of those Harleys coming through, and it's just a beautiful sight. With all their flags that they represent, it's just great. And you know what? It gives everybody goosebumps, especially when they lead off our parade every year, even before it actually kicks off. we have him leading off our parade every year. Okay, and then a couple of things we're going to be moving into now is this year we definitely want to honor someone who's been with our parade and supported our parade from day one. You've all known him. We've all loved and in his passing is our former mayor, Joe Gunter. Now, Joe, more bigger than life personality. I'm honored to call him my friend, honored to call him a brother, but he's always been there. Always been there for us at the parade, always been there for myself, and just in general, just been there for all of us. As we look through these photos, you'll see some of these photos supplied by his family. Shout out to Taryn and Jody if you're watching, and Lisa. Hey, thinking about you. Thank you for the kind words ahead of time. But there he is. He started his career. He comes from a family of veterans. I know his other daughter is I believe she's active Air Force. But Joe served 2 deployments in Vietnam. Now, after coming back from Vietnam, he joined the police force, served as a detective here in Salinas for 32 years. And after that, normally people would just go and enjoy retirement. He wanted to keep contributing. And I think he learned that service from the military itself. He just, he kept serving and served many, many years as a mayor of Salinas. Great guy. His form of leadership was just amazing. He would be able to tell you things without necessarily telling you how to get things done. He would just have you look at it, from a different direction. And I'm sure all of you out there have a good story about Joe. As we're doing that with Joe, as you can see there with his family, from the year one when I met him, he volunteered as a motorcycle officer, was our past grand marshal, and then every year he was there for our parade. And whenever there was any situation or advice that I needed, myself or Phil Orozco, he would definitely help us out with that, with his wisdom and advice here from Salinas. Just like to make a real quick special announcement. Staff Sergeant Lester Schaff, he's a World War II veteran, and talk about survival. He fought in the Philippines from 1941 to 45, survived being shot by a sniper, and one of his biggest wishes was to join us here or at least watch the Veterans Day live stream celebration. He did pass away here recently last Saturday at 102 years old. So just wanted to him and his family, just wanted to give our condolences and definitely thank him for his service. Now, I'd like to introduce our first guest that we have here. And first of all, I'd like to welcome aboard here. We have Alex Saldivar, First Sergeant Alex Saldivar, Vietnam veteran. Thank you for joining us, Alex.
Welcome.
All right. And we have Ryan Sparks, my buddy. Ryan Sparks is Ryan Sparks conducted 2 deployments in Iraq. And aside from that, we're just going to have a good time and just do some talking, folks.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks for joining us. So, Alex, what year did you join the Army, and why did you decide to join the Army?
I joined the Army in 1968, right out of high school. I knew I wanted to join the Army when I was in 5th grade. I just wanted to join the Army. And I joined the Army day after I graduated high school.
That's a similar story that a lot of veterans have. I mean, I think that a lot of people dreamt, whether it's family members ahead of time that were veterans or they watched certain things and motivated, and followed in footsteps. I think a lot of veterans will share that same story on there. So now, Alex, everybody has them, all the years they were in. Share a fond memory you had wherever you were deployed or wherever you were stationed at.
Where I was stationed at,
Mm-hmm.
I mostly spent a lot of time in Germany.
Ah,
But then finally they sent me to Korea.
okay.
But my fondest memories is right in Fort Worth.
Oh, okay.
Because I started in Fort Worth, my basic training and my advanced training. And then I came round robin. Came full circle and retired out of Fort Worth. So I had a lot of young soldiers that I had to take care of.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I mean, yeah, I chewed on the same ground in Manzanita bushes, smashing my ankles out there in training area, and spent some time at Hunter Liggett and Camp Robert. So
Yeah.
I think we've all chewed kind of the same dirt. But
Oh, yeah, we did.
oh my goodness, young man's game, I guess, huh?
That's
And Ryan, you know what? Tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell me about your young family.
So I've been married for 5 years. I've got two amazing kids at home right now watching this, different times. And so instead of going to the parade and attending and seeing everything we do, they're at home watching, which is great in the safety of the home. I know a little bit about me. I'm from Salinas, been raised here, joined the Army right after high school. It was a recruiter called me. I don't know how he got my phone number. Maybe it was a friend playing a prank. I'd always considered it.
Magic. It happened to me too.
Loved watching war movies growing up. I think, as a lot of people did. And I got a call from a recruiter and figured, hey, might as well. Let's see what I could do.
Everybody has a certain reason. And I think in my case growing up, I dreamt of flying. So I figured, you know what, when I get in the Army, I'll let them pay me for it, And so I know you were the 82nd Airborne Division. You hear the term from some people saying, why would you jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Tell me, what was it like being airborne?
If I was going to take the leap and take the jump and join the military, way outside of my comfort zone, I think outside of a lot of people's comfort zones, going from high school to something completely unknown, I figure, what the heck? Why not just jump out of airplane? And you're going to pay me for it? And I get extra money to do this as an 18-year-old? I mean, that was phenomenal. And I figure, I'm going to have to do it anyway. They're going to force me out. I was afraid of heights. Still a little hesitant of heights. I'm going to have to do it. I'm not going to have a choice. So
everybody else coming out of that plane too. You might as well join them.
You're jumping or you're getting kicked out. One or the other. I didn't want to get kicked out, so I jumped, and it was amazing.
And folks out there, when you go out there, when there's so many people on that plane, you have no choice but to go out. They shove you out there, and whether you want to or not, you'll get pushed out. But hey, it's a joy. It definitely is a joy, and it's especially a super joy when that chute opens up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's your first 4 seconds is waiting for that to deploy.
Ryan, I know that you do a lot of work out in the community. Tell me, what motivates you to do so? And now that you're out of your boots, what motivates you to help your fellow veterans?
So right after I got out of the military, right after I got out of the military, I found a community, a sense of involvement at Hartnell College and their Veteran Services Center. Realized that I could not replace, but kind of replicate that feeling of camaraderie with other fellow veterans, even though they may not have been the same branch or the same job description, or even whether they deployed or not. I still found that same interest in having left and having kind of came back, starting education, navigating that. And I realized the importance of being a peer to another person. And, while you're in the military, you have always that person to your left and right to look out for you. I found that again when I went to college, and I had those peers left and right. And so that was the beginning of the motivation, and I kept on going.
One thing out there, folks, especially those who you serve, it doesn't matter what branch you are, we're one big family. And we always help each other out, that's just always good about helping each other. Alex, after 10 years, I know you've been with us from the beginning, and we really appreciate it with you and Phil. After 10 years, what did you first think when Phil and I were going to jump off to this adventure, starting a parade?
Well, I thought it was a good start, but after 10 years, I come to realize that the group that's leading behind all these parades and stuff, their tenacity never stops. It just keeps growing, gets stronger, and this is the best. This is the best that we've got, and we could get more. We could get better.
And it is. You're right. It is one thing you learn about the military. You a lot of times you don't use the word I. A lot of time it's we. What we do is a team efforts and teamwork.
Right.
And we've instilled that with our parade committee, and I'll talk about them later on in the show. But yeah, they have strengths in all facets, and to help put it together. And we've got a great following. I want to thank you guys both for joining us, and it's just as a token of our appreciation, I'd like to give you both our limited edition challenge coin for our Veterans Day Parade. Al, there you go, Ryan.
Thank you.
I know this is not the proper way to pass it for brothers,
Thank
You
you.
deserved it. I hope you, whatever you have a coin collection as well. But happy Veterans Day to you and to your families. I thank you both for your service and thank you for joining us. And yeah, continue watching our show, please.
Oh, we will.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
All right. Thank you.
Happy Veterans Day from all of us here at KION 546. We want to thank all of those serving and who have served our country and congratulate the Monterey County Veterans Day Parade on its 10th annual celebration. It has been an honor to support this event for the past decade.
Telemundo 23 les desea un feliz Día de Veteranos. Queremos darle las gracias a todos los hombres y mujeres que han servido a nuestro país en las Fuerzas Armadas. Y felicitaciones al Condado de Monterrey, quien este año celebra su 10º desfile para veteranos.
Hi, Chief. Hey,
Happy Veterans Day.
happy Veterans Day to you as well, and happy belated birthday, 245 years to the United States Marine Corps.
Semper Fi.
Oh, wow. There you go. Or I take it back. Hoorah. I got to get it right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for taking the time and joining us today. And just overall, just thank you for your service to our country. And thank you for your continued service here in Salinas. So, you know,
Such an honor.
thank you, ma'am. A couple of things. Obviously, being a Marine, do you think the time that you served in the Marine Corps, do you think it helped shape you into being the leader that you are today as being the police chief here in Salinas, California?
It's a great question. Yes, I would say it absolutely has shaped who I am today. And it has helped me in my entire career path leading up to and including Chief of Police here in Salinas. The reason for that, and I believe this very strongly, is that the military in general, and my experience, of course, in the Marine Corps, was that all branches instill core values. They support and even demand core values in its service members, values like integrity, honesty, dependability, accountability and the need to be squared away
Yep.
every day and ready to go.
Absolutely. And that's
Of course, these transcend every work, every type of job that you could have, whether it's in the civilian sector, whether it's in the tech industry, whether it's in public service like myself, any type of job and interaction that you're going to have with the outer world really values these core traits of integrity and honesty. And of course, help you stay free from jail, right? If you're abiding by the rules.
UCMJ scared us all when we were in the military. So yeah, getting back out, that's always a good thing. So I know you spent some time, obviously, in the Marines. I know you went to Korea a few times, like myself. Share a couple of fond memories, or a single fond memory, or even a funny memory that you had in the military.
Only one?
I know we got plenty.
Plenty. So, well, I would have to say that first and foremost, my fondest memories are due to relationships. And I have great friends out there with whom I've shared a lifetime really of friendship, quality friendships for the past 30 years, post active duty. So with that, I would like to drop some names. Joe Benavides, gunnery sergeant, retired, now serving as Justice of the Peace in Nueces County. He was stationed in my unit. We were stationed together when we were both very young, and he and I keep in touch, always have. And he's a wonderful friend to me, like a brother. Shirley Maloof, now Shirley King, U.S. Navy veteran. And of course, my dear, dear friend who I talk to either once or twice a week, Donna Jansen, United States Marine Corps retired, living in South Carolina.
Awesome.
And a shout out to my own son, Joel, serving in the U.S. Navy on active duty in Florida.
Got it. As we wrap up here, this is a question I'm sure that you can help me with, and it's something, if given a chance, what advice would you give to any young woman out there, whether they want to serve their country or just continue on with education?
I would say that the advice I would give them would be the same as I would give any potential service member, anyone looking to serve into the military. I would like to make the conversation a little more intimate and ask them questions, kind of probe as to why they're interested. But my one-line advice for women in particular is, if this is something you believe in your heart that you want to do not let anything stand in your way, because you don't want to go another 10 years down the road and look back and have the regret that you didn't go for it. My own experience was, I knew I had to do this, and I had to do it by myself.
Yep.
I had to keep it a secret. I went to MEPS. I got processed in. I did my oath twice. And once you do it that second time, you're done.
You're a Marine.
In. And then I went home and I told my parents.
Wow.
Then I went home and I told my siblings and my best friends. I knew that if I had told them in advance, they would do everything they could to talk me out of it. And it's very selfish. And I'm probably going to upset some parents by giving this advice, but it's the truth. You have to live your life and go for it. And the military can provide so much of a great foundation leading to a successful future. I truly believe that.
Thank you, and thank you for those kind words of advice. And personally, on behalf of the Veterans Day Parade Committee, I just want to thank you for your, ongoing support every single year towards our Veterans Day Parade. We always appreciate it, and we always know we have you supporting us. So, with that being said, just thank you for your time today, and again, enjoy the rest of your Veterans Day, Chief.
Thank you so much. Our parts are very small, but all together, it's huge.
Yep.
And when I retire, like I've told you before, Mr. Vireta, I want to be just like you. I want to do what you're doing wherever I end up.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that, Chief. Have a great day.
God bless.
God bless. for the last 10 years, we see a lot of the familiar faces there. There's my friend, Sergeant First Class Satine. What a great recruiter over here in Salinas. And there's all these vehicles, you know, they're just awesome. You could just tell that a lot of TLC goes into it. I think, you know, one thing about the opening ceremonies of the parade itself, there's my wife. But the opening ceremonies itself, you look at some of these veterans from all different eras, all different ages. And I tell you this, and you probably know this already, you look at them, everybody's sharing their story, and you look deep in their eyes, and I tell you, they're 18 all over again. They're jumping out of planes, they're, you know, talking about Normandy, they're talking about Vietnam, or they're just talking about duty stations. And then this is the day that we're out here, you know, as proud as we can be, and I think it's just an awesome, you know, testament for our young citizens to watch as well.
The Salinas Police Department wants to wish all those who have served and are currently serving a happy Veterans Day. We are honored to support our local veterans and congratulate the Monterey County Veterans Day Parade on their 10th annual celebration.
Now, folks, we're going to take a second here just to honor a moment of silence, please, for our service members that have fallen, especially our local service members. Okay, you know, we can't do enough to honor our service members, especially our fallen service members here locally and just all over the world. One thing that we did 3 years ago is we worked on a project to do some highway signs for 5 of our local service members. Our job isn't done yet. And one of my goals that I'm going to go after in 2021 is to make sure that the remaining service members here locally who were killed in combat, we equally honor them to put their names forever on the local highways here in Monterey County. So that's a project I'll be going after in 2021, folks. If you're listening, I give you my word, I'm going to work on that very hard. Next, we're going to show some footage of some interviews of a couple of World War II veterans. And these men out here, men and women actually, you know, they're going into the twilight of their years, and we're glad that we can capture some information here and just talk about our greatest generation.
My name is Ed Cavallini. I was in the United States Marine Corps. I enlisted in 1942. I didn't go on active duty until 1943. I went to boot camp, Marine Corps boot camp at Parris Island, South Carolina. And then we went to Camp Lejeune, and they had a special OCS class there and wound up in Camp Pendleton. And then I went overseas to Maui and joined the 4th Marine Division on Maui. When we were on our way to Iwo Jima, we spent a couple of days off of Oahu, in Hawaii, where Honolulu is, and practicing climbing down the cargo nets on the ships, because we didn't have anything like that at Pendleton. And during that time, a combat photographer joined us, and he just was getting a ride. He didn't belong to us. I mean, he wasn't assigned to us. But we wound up being in adjacent bunks, and turned out that he and I were the only ones from the San Francisco area, and so we played pinochle and talked blah blah blah. And it turns out this guy was Joe Rosenthal, the guy that took the famous picture on the flag raising in Mount Suribachi.
You had to register for the draft at any time when you became 18. So I decided, because I lived between 2 Army bases, and my brother had been in the Navy, I enlisted in the Navy, and I was about 17 and a half. So I went to San Diego for boot camp. And then after boot camp, which is about 2 months, I remember, I was sent home. You got a 2-week period, and then you got your regular assignment. So I got the confidential instructions in a brown letter, and it said on the outside, approved for submarine duty. And I thought, oh, I don't want to go in submarines. But fortunately, I got back, and they said, no, we're going to assign you to storekeeper school. And I had heard that the war is over. And of course, I was pleased about that. And that's when they got into the magic carpet. So their troops were coming back, you know, they were finished. And in fact, I think we even had some before that. But that was the primary thing I was in. It made me grow up quick. And it was a great advantage, I think, to be in the military at that time, knowing that the war was over and I was not having to go to Japan, because it was right on the edge. When I went on Nevada, it was heading towards Japan, but stopped at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, and that's where the war was over, and we started taking people back.
Happy Veterans Day.
So I want to talk to Home Depot before we talk to him.
We here at
All right.
Salinas Home Depot want to wish all those who have served and are serving a happy Veterans Day. We also want to congratulate the Monterey County Veterans Day on their 10th annual celebration this year. We wish for many, many more. At Home Depot, we are honored to support our local veterans every year. Yay!
Every year we can always count on Home Depot to be one of our sponsors, and this year they came through again. There's a flat iron grill that we're actually going to have a drawing for. That's going to come up, and just right there it is, my contact information. Anybody on our parade committee has tickets, we're going to be drawing. And this thing right there, it does everything, guys. I mean, whether it's your tacos or even breakfast, you know, 1 ticket for $5, 20 for, 5 tickets for $20. Nevertheless, it all folds right back into the parade committee itself for upcoming events. And lastly, our drawing will take place on Thanksgiving Day at noontime. So just please support us here by purchasing some of those tickets and get a luck of the draw. Thank you. Andy, how you doing, Marine? Yes.
Go ahead and see me.
Outstanding, outstanding. Welcome. We have live
Thank
here
you.
a Marine here, Private First Class Andy Alcatar. How are you today, Marine?
I'm doing very amazing. And yourself?
I'm doing great, and happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you.
Hope you behaved out there.
My
Did you?
actual birthday is actually coming up on the 18th.
I was talking about the Marine
17th.
Corps. I was talking about the Marine Corps birthday yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you know what? I just got a few questions for you, and thank you ahead of time for taking the time to join us. And tell me, to you, what does Veterans Day mean to you at this young stage in your career?
Well, since you asked, to me, Veterans Day just pretty much is a day to remember and to look back on all the sacrifices my brothers and sisters did to preserve our freedom, in short.
Awesome.
And we're here to recognize them and give thanks on this day.
Well, I see that you have the anchor there already, and so you are a Marine. Tell me, what does it feel like to be in the United States Marine Corps?
I really love it. It's probably one of the most and the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm very thankful for my recruiter for helping me out for 3 months. It was a lot to do and, a lot of sacrifice. And I met a lot of people on the way there.
Awesome. Who was your recruiter? So I can give him a shout out.
That's Sergeant Campos.
Sergeant Campos, Guadalupe Campos. Shout out to you if you're watching. Thanks, Marine, for all you do. As we wrap up here, I know your family's watching. Is there anything you want to say to your family out there, your siblings or your mom and dad?
I do. I just want to tell my family that I love them and for thanking them for everything that they've done ever since I got here.
That's great. That's great. And you know what? Yeah, we can't thank our mom and dad, and I'm sure they did a fine job raising you and joining the Marine Corps. And I just want to thank you. Thank you for your service and your continued service. And I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Private. Alcantar.
Thank you so much.
Gabriel Beretta, Army, Vietnam era veteran. I joined the Army to better myself. I want to wish all veterans happy Veterans Day. God bless.
Hi, my name is Alfred Gavina. I joined the U.S. Army in 1974 to 1976. I'm a Vietnam era veteran. I took the challenge and I'm glad that I did. It changed my life. Also, I want to say that I was proud to serve my country, and I want to wish all of you a happy Veterans Day.
My name is Lupe Arenais. I served in the U.S. Army. I was stationed mostly overseas. In 1996, I deployed to Bosnia in support of Operation Joint Endeavor. I joined the armed forces for my country and my family. Happy Veterans Day.
Hi, I'm Joey Martinez. I served in the United States Marine Corps from 1981 to 1992. I served with 1131 and 1st Marine Regiment, the Marine Raider Battalion. Happy Veterans Day.
Ken Steen, Navy, Vietnam era. Happy Day to veterans.
It's Phil Orozco. I served in the United States Marine Corps from 68, 71. I traveled all over the place, a planet, with the Fleet Marine Force, and I got out in 71. Happy Veterans Day for me.
Hi, I'm Rick Saros. I served in the United States Army from 1983 to 1987. Also served in the California National Guard from 87 to 89. Happy Veterans Day.
Good afternoon. My name is Salvas Villanueva. I served in the United States Army from 1966 to 69 at 1st of the 14th Armored Cav. Happy Veterans Day.
Men, thank you very much for joining us today. I appreciate it, and happy Veterans Day to both of you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you for taking the time actually coming in from the peninsula. We have here today Colonel Varman Chung, the Garrison Commander for the Presidio Monterey. We also have his Command Sergeant Major, Robert Launders. Thank you. So, sir, we'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how long have you been in the Army?
Tony, first of all, before I start, I just want to thank you for your service and everything that you do for the community. I think what you do is really emblematic of what all our veterans do. Folks that serve hard in uniform and then afterwards look for ways to continue their service in the community. And we really appreciate it. And I think the entire community appreciates it. So I've been in the Army for about 21 years. I was commissioned out of West Point in 1999, had a career as an engineer officer in Germany and then in special operations. I've served in Afghanistan, Iraq, Kosovo, Philippines, and a bunch of other random places around the world. It's been great. I love it, and now it's my time to give back and build the next generation of leaders.
Thank you. And that's something that we've learned all in our careers is the mentorship and just grooming our replacements. I saw that when I was a young platoon sergeant, and said the same thing. You see these young men and women out there and just any little tidbits of advice. I can definitely remember in my career, little bits of advice I heard all throughout my career and some of the people that whether they were mentors or not or meant the difference, they did.
Yeah.
The Salinas Californian wants to wish all veterans and those currently
what
serving.
you find is that, you as a officer, NCO, soldier, or, any service member in the military, you're a product of the people around you. It's the family members the family that brought you up when you were young to instill the values in you, and then it's the leaders and your peers in the military that really make you who you are.
Absolutely. So here in Monterey County, I'm sure you read up about it, but there's a rich military history with the former Fort Ord. Actually, that's where I got out. But tell me, I know as Garrison Commander, that's part of your area. What do you think that they converted to a university?
Yes, most of those decisions were made way before me, and I did not have a vote in those decisions. And what we have right now, we're still an integral member, I think, of the Monterey Peninsula with the military community that we have here. There's approximately about 10,000 people that are part of the Presidio of Monterey that work on our lands between the Presidio of Monterey, La Mesa Village, the Ord military community, and some of our other locations. The military did not have a need for that land, so we're still in the process of turning it over and to add to the community and to give something back to the community.
Thank you. Thank you. Sergeant Major, it's your turn.
All right.
How you doing, brother?
I'm awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All righty. So tell me, we all have that certain stage. We all have that aha moment. When did you know? When did you think you were you jump into some boots?
Yeah. Well, first one, I want to thank you again and all of our veterans out there and for everyone that put this together. But for me, I knew early going into high school that I was going to go in the Army. My family has a long history of service to our country, and that was kind of embedded in me as a child growing up.
As a lot of us.
Yes, that's what you do. Is you go serve your country, and then you go find your way in the world.
That's great, and I know that at this point you're at the top, and congratulations. You know, in becoming a command sergeant major. At your level now, you know what advice would you give to a young sergeant? Doesn't matter what branch. If he were to ask you whether he's pondering staying in or getting out, what advice would you give him as a sergeant major?
So I would tell them they need to be intrusively engaged with their service members, right? Mom and dad America have their sons and daughters in service. And our job as non-commissioned officers, petty officers, is to ensure that we build and grow that generation and that they are taken care of.
Got it. That's great. We're going to go ahead and take a quick 1-minute break to show a sponsor, and we'll come back and talk to both of you.
Having a happy Veterans Day.
Congratulations to Veterans Day Parade in Salinas for its 10th annual Veterans Day celebration. The Salinas Californian is a proud sponsor.
Welcome back, folks, and just want to also thank our local media and thank the Californian. Every year they've helped and supported us and just getting the word out to people that we can't reach out and touch. But we just want to thank them always just to supporting us and getting the word out, just to tell our local veterans what we're doing every year. Well, Colonel, we're back to you, and we've got a bunch of them. I'm sure you do, but whether it's a funny memory, but why don't you share a fond memory that you had while coming up?
You know, I was asked this question yesterday, and I thought about it more last night. And I don't think I can really. I've had so many fond memories from the Army, whether it was an airborne school, my time at West Point as a lieutenant, getting tuned up by an NCO along the way to make me a better officer. But I think when you look at the collective, the thing that you remember most is the people that you work with. And the people around you, because the most important asset that we have in the military is the people. And I think that is what we invest in to mostly. And those people come in, we do a great job of training them, of giving them the skills, the equipment that they need to accomplish the mission. And the great thing is that they take those skills afterwards and continue their service in their civilian careers, whether it's in politics, becoming a teacher, becoming a firefighter, becoming a police person. And they continue their service to our community to make our union more perfect.
And you're right. And that's something that with veterans out there, for those of you still serving, when you do get out, one thing that the chief said earlier on in the interview, it does instill so many great things in us: responsibility, accountability, discipline. We're going to be on time. We're going to do our job. We know how to work as a team. And that's something that, we all take credit for that in the military. So, in your words, I know that I've asked this to a couple of people also, and you've in your whole career, why is Veterans Day important to you?
I think it's important because it is about honoring those that have served before us in uniform.
All day, yeah.
You look back at our rich history into, Veterans Day has only been around since I think the mid-1930s when it was actually made into a law. Mm-hmm. And you look at what our veterans did in World War II. They saved the world and made it a good place for democracy to thrive and created the new democratic world order that we have today. And those same veterans came back and they rebuilt America.
They did.
They made America into what it is. You think of the roaring 50s of having big cars, of having a lot of durable goods, suburban America, and the prosperity that our country got out of all of that has been incredible. Then you take a look at what our veterans did in Vietnam and going over there in Indochina and fighting and then coming back to a less than thankful nation.
True.
And a broken military.
Yes.
And those veterans, the ones that stayed in uniform and the ones that got out, took it upon themselves to rebuild the military, to rebuild the Army.
Absolutely.
So those are the folks that we're honoring today, the folks that have served in uniform, saved our country numerous times over, rebuilt America, and rebuilt our military to what it is. So to all the veterans out there, thank you all very much for your service in the past, your continued service today, and for your service in the future.
Great words. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Sergeant Major, so we're going to jump into the past here a little bit, and I understand that earlier in your career, you were in an important room at an important time in the White House. Could you please share a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so Tony, news for you is I actually was there twice.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the first time was early 2011. I had the opportunity to serve as the communicator for the National Security Staff during Operation Neptune Spear, which was the killer capture of Osama bin Laden. And then later that year, I went back up again to be the prime communicator for the National Security Staff during Operation Octave Fusion, which was when Jessica became Amalia.
Outstanding.
So yeah, it's two of the highlights of my career being at the right place at the right time, and being in a small room, much like this, with a lot of heavy hitters.
I can't even imagine. That's the part where nothing's going to go wrong here. But we've all learned being in the military, sometimes things do go wrong. You adjust and just keep moving. So to both of you, I've spoken with so many veterans, and I've asked them, and I even say this for myself, coming into this part of the career, would you do it all over again?
Definitely. I would absolutely. I wouldn't if I could do it all again, I wouldn't change a thing.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Sir, would you do it all over again?
100%. I have had a great time in the military, and I love being able to give back now in the position that I'm in.
Would I can ask you this, because I know we talked about this before. Would you do that wonderful diet that the Army provided us at Ranger School?
I might double it.
Exactly. Great diet.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for your time. I'd like to present you also with a 10th annual coin. And I just appreciate your efforts and thank you for everything that you do. I know this isn't the official way to pass it, but I hope a collection like mine, I've seen your collection, which is quite large, that you would add it to it and remember today and just the milestone that we have. And hopefully, and God willing, we get past all this, and next year we'll have you riding in our 11th annual Veterans Day Parade.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony. Look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
American Legion, Post 32, want to wish you all a happy Veterans Day. We here at Soledad American Legion, Post 32, want to wish you all a happy Veterans Day.
The Salinas Californian wants to wish all veterans and those currently serving a happy Veterans Day.
Congratulations to Veterans Day Parade in Salinas for its 10th annual Veterans Day celebration. The Salinas Californian is a proud sponsor.
Edward Alvarez High School Eagles. There you go. And there's a contingent there from every branch, from DLI. Every year they come out and march in our parade. And you can see there we have some other veterans there, from all branches. There's a Marine Corps League, and I can keep going on and on. But folks, those of you who are watching that have been with us for the last 10 years, I hope you see yourself. Hope you see some friends. We're all this is a small community, tight knit. And I think that every year that we do this, it just draws Salinas even tighter. It's such a great day. Nevertheless, we couldn't do what we wanted to, but we're still doing this. And here is, we're grateful that we're able to watch some of this past footage and watch some of these young men out there, everybody who participates. There's Soledad High School, Aztecs, There's my friends over there at Post 32, my Legion, Soledad American Legion Post 32, Gonzales High Band. And of course, with our Blue Star moms that are always help for the folks that are actually, whether deployed and or serving.
Hi, I'm Pete Delgado, President and CEO of Salinas Valley Memorial Healthcare System. It is an honor and privilege to lead an organization named in memory of the military men and women who died serving our great country. On behalf of our staff, we wish all of those who have served and currently serving a happy Veterans Day. We are so grateful for your service to our country. And congratulations to the Monterey County Veterans Day Parade on their 10th annual celebration. We wish you many more.
Congressman.
What's going on, Tony?
How are you, Congressman Jimmy Panetta? How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I'm well. I'm sitting in my car, but I'd rather be sitting in another car waving to people on the main street of Salinas. I'll tell you that much, but this is what we got to do, and I appreciate you doing it, let me tell you.
You know, that's something that we all agreed upon early on. I think canceled is an overused word this year, and we didn't want to cancel going into it, especially 10 years. Jimmy, you know, we had to do something different as everybody has conformed, you know, and again, I just wanted to thank you, first of all, for your service to our country. I know a lot of people don't know out there, but you are a Navy veteran. You did serve a deployment in Afghanistan, and I appreciate that. And thank you for coming back and continuing to serve. And lastly, I just want to thank you for everything you've done for our parade every year. It wouldn't be what it is, you know, without your support, sir.
No. I don't know about that. Let me tell you, it wouldn't be what it is without your support, Tony, and everything you do. Trust me, anybody who's even, you know, touched or smelled the Salinas Day Veterans Parade, they smell you. They know it's you. Trust me, you are the foundation for this parade. And you make us very proud and for everything you do, not just for the parade, but for our veterans, and more importantly, and obviously their family members as well, that can come out and pay their respects and pay tribute to those that have served our country. But I mean, you're doing what we do in our community. I mean, we get it here. Our community understands that obligation to serve those who serve us. And it definitely, you know, sometimes we may not see it with the Veterans Transition Center, our Veterans Treatment Court, or the Central Coast Veterans Cemetery, or the Gurley Health Clinic that's there, the state-of-the-art health clinic that we have there. But we definitely see it with the Salinas Day Veterans Parade, and so Salinas Veterans Day Parade. So that's all you, Tony, and people understand that. They appreciate that. I look forward to continuing to be a part of it in any way I can to help you have a wonderful Veterans Day.
Thank you, sir. And one thing that I have to really say, it is a huge team effort. I'm the guy in the front who's up nervous on the mic or who gets yelled at or, that. But nevertheless, it is behind me a mighty, mighty Veterans Day Parade Committee. And I can't say enough about those folks. We're family. So Jimmy, tell me, what does Veterans Day mean to you, sir?
Yeah, look, I think it's, it's obviously, you think about, like I said, you think about this community, you think about our country, but tying those together, you think about our obligation and what our responsibility is, not only which makes us veterans, but also which continues to prompt us to serve our veterans.
Got it.
We understand that, living in this country, it's not just going to come naturally. Things aren't passed down to us. Our rights, as they say, they may be self-evident, but they're not self-executing.
Yes.
And so it's up to us, a nation of we the people, to ensure that it's we the people who protect, fight, and secure the rights for our future, for our progeny going forward. And so we understand that there's a responsibility. That's why we have veterans. That's why we have men and women who have stepped up, not for the pay, not to repel an attack, but to basically be part in gratitude, be part of this American experiment that literally is the best country in humankind ever. And I think we understand that. And that's why we have so many veterans, men and women, who are willing to be a part of our history, willing to serve and willing to live up to our obligation to this country. But at the same time, it's up to us, like we do here in this community, to serve those who served us.
Yes,
and we do that here in the things that I just talked about, including this marvelous Veterans Day Parade, if not in person, in virtually, but also going forward, making sure that veterans have the benefits and their family members have the benefits that they deserve because of that service. And so it's about living up to the obligation that we have as Americans.
Yes.
It's about living up to our obligations to those who served America.
If I was a younger man, the way you talk, I feel like I want to join again. So every year, I mean, you come on board up us on the stage here at the Veterans Day Parade, and I know we do a swear-in, an oath of enlistment that you conduct every year, and we've been doing this, going back so many years. And you talked about the future of our service members and where they're at today, whether they're still serving, deployed somewhere in this world. Tell me, how does that feel when you're up there giving the oath to these young men and women from all branches? Sometimes you do up to 150.
Yeah, look, Tony, I think a lot of people who are tuning in would agree that sometimes you turn on the TV and you see all the things that are going on and everything that we're having to deal with, especially this year in 2020. It's times like that where you see young men and women who are willing to step up and fulfill their obligation, who understand their obligation, is what gives me hope for the future, and more importantly, the future of this country and the future of our democracy. Because it's these young men and women in our local schools, from our community, from our families, that are, basically raising their hand, putting on the uniform, stepping up,
all day,
and stepping in to their obligation. I have a nephew who is just finishing OCS.
Wow,
Officer
outstanding.
Kennedy, back in Rhode Island. And, I'm so proud of him, and our family's so proud of him. But as community members, it makes me so proud to see the sons and daughters of our family stepping up and taking that oath every year. And I look forward to continuing to doing that as well. Trust me, that really is what our community and country is about.
That's pretty cool. So you've been with us for the last 9 years. Thinking back, I mean, we saw a lot of things happening, you and I, whether it's any type of weather. And tell me, of all those parades, which one kind of stands out for you?
I think it's obviously everyone is remarkable, and you know that. And everyone, the thing that's crazy, Tony, is every year it seems to get bigger and better.
That's true.
And I think that really says a lot about you and the work that the team has done. I mean, seriously, every year, Tony, the crowds keep growing and growing, which is phenomenal. And the parade keeps getting bigger and bigger because people want to be a part of this. They want to show and pay tribute to our veterans, but they want to be a part of this community as well. And I think the Veterans Day Parade is a way that they can express that. But the first one was definitely something that stands out as one that I'll never forget. And also the one when there was rain.
Yeah.
Remember, like you said, we had weather, we had bad rain one year. And let me tell you, people still lined the streets.
It was electric.
Exactly. People were still willing to come out despite the weather. And trust me, we've had a pretty good run of nice days, especially in November and this falls that we get. But let me tell you, when it rained that time and there were still people on the streets, still willing to come out and pay their respects and show their honor for the men and women who have served this country, I'll never forget that as well.
Well, greetings to your father as well, and his participation as our past Grand Marshal. Please tell him and your mom, Sylvia, I said hello. We said hello. And just going back to the beginning, circling back. Congressman, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your service, and just thank you for joining us today.
No. Thank you. It really is a treat to be a part of this. And I look forward to, like I said, not being in this car today, but being in a car in the Salinas State Parade next year. Can't wait. And I know it's going to be, like I said, bigger and better than the past ones. And thanks to you, Tony, for all you do to be a part of this community, to serve our country and live up to the obligation that we hold dear.
Thank you, sir. Be well.
At Lowe's, we have a long-standing relationship and admiration for our military community. We employ over 20,000 military employees through Lowe's. Daily, we honor our military by offering a 10% discount and dedicated parking spaces. We love and appreciate everything you guys do for us. Thank you.
Hey, folks, you're going to see a flyer here when Lowe's has always helped us every single year. This year, $400, I think the value over $700. This thing is a pallet-driven electric smoker. You put the thing in there, you forget about it, and for 28 hours, you can smoke whatever you want. The shelves are adjustable. There's the raffle tickets, 1 for $5 or 5 for $20. And so please contact one of our committee members or reach out to me on our parade Facebook page. Love to get you some tickets, and we're drawing on this on Thanksgiving Day at noontime. We're going to do that live on Facebook. And, if you win, you're going to have some of our committee members come over there and enjoy some of the food. Thanks. Well, now, here is one of the best parts here. And when we talked earlier about a lot of people who've been working with us, this is our parade committee.
We want to wish all those who have served and are still serving a very, very happy Veterans Day.
We would also like to thank you all for your continued support throughout the years.
That's our team, ladies and gentlemen. And looking at across there, it's just awesome. Some of us have been together the entire 10 years. A lot of us have been there, but we consider ourselves family. We go through great times. We go through difficult times, but nevertheless, we have that one mission in mind, and that is always making sure that we honor our veterans. Everybody's got a story. Committee members like Teresa, who helps us out. Her father is an Air Force veteran. Danny, out there, if you're listening or watching, your dad's a Vietnam veteran. And, Rick Serros, Army, even folks that didn't serve, they're equally as patriotic. Refugio out there, his son's in the Navy right now, currently out there. Gloria and Leo, I know that you have a nephew that served in Iraq. All these people were drawn together by one single thing, and that is just service to our community, service to our country. And I tell you what, I couldn't ask for a better committee at all. It's just great. As I wrap this up here, celebrating all of our committee members, it takes a team doing this every year. If things change next year, great. If not, we'll do this again. We're always adjusting. But, leaving it on a strong note is the who made this happen here. One of our strongest supporters here every single year is Alex Garcia with Magma Media and his team, Alejandro and the rest of them. Seriously, what you're seeing here today, we couldn't do it without their support, without their technical professionalism, effort, and just, being out there is just, we can't thank them enough. Our sponsors that you see up here, KION, Christy Santiago and her team there with KION and Telemundo. Thank you every year. Home Depot, Mike Bitar with Grupo Flor. We thank you for your support. The Californian with reaching out to other folks. I really appreciate that. Francisco and his team at Lowe's. Thank you so much. Loretta at Home Depot. You and Danny out there and Edward, you're always supportive. And one other to talk about there is Victor Kong at Star Market, one of my best friends and one of our steadfast sponsors. So again, Magwin Media, every year their support is here, and whatever we decide to do in 2021, please stay there. We'll keep you up to date what's going on. But thank you again, folks, for joining us. Thank you for watching everything here. And I ask you here just to happy Veterans Day to all those who served. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day. All right, there you go. Everybody's dressed up there. Look at that. We got some of the, I tell you one thing, every year in their parade, you got some of the coolest vehicles. There's my brother Phil right there, Phil Orozco. You know, couldn't have got as far without him. You know, and you know, every single age. That's one thing I wanted to bring up too. Every age, from toddlers to grown-ups. There's our friend Norm. You know, they're out there waving those flags. And like the congressman said earlier, it is just a great day in the community. It is a great day. There is no objections. We're just sitting there honoring our veterans, and just a special nod, you know, and respect to those who've helped us in the parade or participated in the parade that have since moved on. We know that at that time they were honored, whether as grand marshals or just being in the parade. They had a chance to join us, you know, and get their just due, and just to be honored as veterans. So, again, enjoy the rest of this footage here. We thank you so much for everything, and you know what? Just it's always, you know, this has been going so great. You know, it's always, you know, it's often to say goodbye in the military. You know, we've got a motto here. We really don't say goodbye. We'll just say we'll see you later, because at some point we will see you later. You know, everybody has their chant. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and my brother out there, Tom Vaughn, if you're watching, Coast Guard, I didn't forget this time. But you know what? We all say it differently, whether it's hoo-ya, hoorah, or hoo-ah. I hope you're as motivated as I was coming into this. You know, we pulled this off. And I thank you for taking the time to watching this. Seriously, and just a big round, and please give yourself a round of applause. And all of you veterans out there, thank you so much for your service. And thank you, those of you still serving, thank you for keeping up the fight there. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.